Hello, hi, how are you? My name is Erasta Sorobi. I am a radio presenter. At the same time, I do many other things. But in short, I am into communication and media stuff. And today, I want just to introduce you. Probably you're new. You've not met me. You've not listened to me. Probably because when I'm on radio, I speak in my vernacular language because I work with raw media services. And I work specifically with the Guest FM, but I think on top of that, I have other things that I do, different things. But I think in a way, I think that God has blessed me in a different, in a way that I can do many things. Sometimes those people find me, I teach, I love making sure, I love impacting knowledge to the young people. Probably also you met me in functions whereby I do emceeing of events and such. At the same time, probably you met me in different forums whereby I champion what we call grassroots campaigns. And probably you've not, it will depend where you've met me from. Probably you've interacted with my books. I really want to appreciate that there are people who have read my books, and I want just to say thank you so much. Now, today I want just to talk about some of the books that I've done. The reason as to why I'm saying this, it's because I strongly believe. I know we operate in different ways, but me, I strongly believe that the kind of thoughts that you encourage in your mind, the kind of thoughts that you harbor in your mind, because they really determine how far you go in life. The kind of thoughts that you entertain in your mind. That is why somebody said that not even somebody, the Bible says, whatever man thinketh, so he is. So I tend to think that the kind of thoughts that I encourage in my mind, the kind of things that I entertain in my mind, they really have a lot of force, a lot of strength, a lot of determination of who I become and how I live my life, probably in the years to come. Then number two, I always say that the books and the people that you interact with, if you're able to get books, because there are people that I've never met, but I have read their books. In fact, like the other day, I was challenging people that even when you go to university, majority of the books that we read in university, even I doubt whether they are Kenyan. Some, they are not. Probably they are done in the US, people did from France and whichever places. You just go and ask the course outlines that you do. I want to just challenge anybody who is watching this. Leave alone high school. High school, at least we have Kenyan authors who've written those books by KICD. Let me ask you, those of you who went to university or those of you who went to do some courses like electrical engineering, whichever course where they're doing medicine, you will be shocked that the majority of the books that you have in the course outline there, they are not done by Kenyans. Very few. I know there are some, like when those of you go to university, do research methods and such, there are few which are Kenyan, but you'll discover that the majority of them, they are not. Personally, I teach a unit and I've discovered, in fact, I got some books here. And I discovered that, this book is done by, this is called Documented Films and Videos. This one's called Making Videos for Money and such. Discovered this guy is not even from Kenya. So I discovered when I'm teaching a unit and then I'm having the course outline, I discovered that the majority of the books that I am telling students to go and buy or whatever, or maybe I'm telling them to refer, they are not Kenyan. They are not Kenyan. Now, that is not the issue. What I'm talking about here is, yes, we are getting this knowledge, and they discovered, there's a guy here called Ramba. I discovered he's based in somewhere in United States of America. There's a lady I like reading her books. Let me see whether I can be able to find her books. I have read. Let me see whether I can find. I think it's in the other shelf there. There's a lady called Avara Rigera. She's from New York. But let me tell you, I read her books. As if in fact, I have read her books. She has written very nice books about radio, presentation, and such. She's based in New York. You know what? I've gone as far as getting her email and we talk. I just followed on Twitter and such. So I said, well, so there is a way somebody can be able to impact you. The person is not with you here, but you're able to read. books written by people who are very fast. So that is why I feel strongly that sometimes you're not able to have one-on-one with someone, but through the writings you can be able to. I remember when I finished Form 4, I used to read books done by this guy called Edward M. Sindri. He wrote very nice books, but I discovered this guy died in the year 18 something. Even his books are being reprinted. He died 18 something, but still his books are being reprinted because of he stored some knowledge. And now this knowledge, people are getting it, and they are still finding this. I have quite a number of guys who are very far. I read their books. One of my favorite books is this book done by Jack Canfield. I know that I bought this book some years back. I like this. I've never finished. So what am I saying? That books are giving us an opportunity to interact with people. This book I bought in the year 2013. I remember it was on 19th June 2013. The Success Principles, how to get from where you are to where you want to be, and many others. So what am I saying? Sometimes it's very good and it's wise for you to get something. It will depend, because if you want to reach me, if you want me, I interact well with books. When I sit down, I can be able to go through books. I can be able to think. I can be able to find ways. Somebody challenged me. This guy who wrote the book, it's called Robin Sharma. He said, there's a book he wrote, Who Will Cry When I Die? And one of the key things that he has challenged, and I've really found, he said, it's not about the amount of books that you read, but how do you sit down after you've read a chapter and then ask yourself, what is my action plan? I've read this, so what is my action plan? Because again, you can consume a lot of knowledge, but now the key question here is, I've read this, so how do I? What is the action? What have I picked? What am I going to use? What am I going to pick? And then I can be able to do the practicals with that. That is the key thing. Now, those of you who have not interacted with my books, I wrote this book called Quest for Personal Growth. And chapters are very short. And at the end of it, you can be able to sit down and then ask yourself, what have I picked from this? Quite a number of the things that I've done here, they are inspirational stories. Things that I've gone through, things that I've seen, and then I've tried to put them down in a simple way. Like now, in chapter 1, I talk about believe that you can grow. Because I've discovered that the majority of us, we don't want, you feel like, sasa nitafanya nini? How can I be able to move from where I am? I don't think I can be able to. Some people, they have given up early, that they believe, there's nothing I can be able to do. I cannot be able to. I've met many people that have challenged them. You can still go back to school and do your Form 4. I met somebody who left high school, I think at the age of, he left high school at Form 1 and then stayed out for 10 years. I just said, just go, you never know. Go and you'll be able to find like a diploma somewhere, and then you can be able to start life again. And I've seen that. There's a gentleman who was a watchman for 10 years. And then he moved from there, he went back to school. And he's able to pick his life. I've talked about begin to dream. The things that you're seeing around here, you have to start thinking. Just visualize. Fabulous what you want. Actualize. Some of the things you see us doing, some of us you see us on radio, we started tunatangaza tukiwa ndani ya miti. So it's very important for you to start thinking, visualize what you want. Begin to dream, it's not bad. Empower your thoughts. What are you encouraging in your mind? Power of men and women are people who have invested heavily in empowering their thoughts. What do you read? What do you watch? Whom do you interact with? And then I've done quite a number of other chapters there, Becoming High Achiever. So if you've not interacted with this book, you can be able to get it in part of this country. It can be shipped to you. If you're in Kenya, if you're in the United States, you can be able to get my book. So what I would encourage people to do is you can chat with me. You can be able to give me your number. The book can be sent to you. It can be sent to you. And then I've done another book here. It's called Maximizing Your Skills and Talents. This one I'm talking about, every one of us has been endowed with a given talent or a given skill. Majority of us probably without these talents, probably we do not use them very well, or we have underused them, or we don't really value them. And I've really focused on a number of things here. I've talked about what is a talent, talked about what is the difference between a talent and a gift, talked about how do you discover your talent, talked about developing your talent, talked about believing in your talent, talked about rising from that thing of feeling like I do not have anything, and even if I did this, even if I sang this, even if I drew, even if I played this football, there isn't much that can be able to be. And then I have also done something about focusing on your talent. I have also something about having the right attitude. I've talked about associations, a number of things, mental capacity, a number of things. How do you develop your child's talents and such? If you've not gotten a book of this, kindly you can be able to talk to me. You can be able to get this book. If you're watching this on YouTube, kindly just mention your name there. You can give me your contacts. We can be able to ship to you. Now, these two books, if you are in Kenya, they just go for 500 Kenya shillings. 500 Kenya shillings. And then, of course, depending on where you are, if you're in Kisii Town, you can get my books at Nyasifika Bookshop. If you're in Nairobi, you can get them from me. I have a rider who can be able to distribute at a small cost. If you're in the United States, still I have somebody there who can be able to order. Is there, and I can be able to connect you. Of course, in the US, you'll have to pay me 1,000 Kenya shillings, and then of course you'll be able to organize about the shipping and such. So kindly, if you're watching this video, you've not read my books, I will encourage you to sample of what I've written and probably the Kenyan perspective of what I've just talked about. And I believe that it will be able to be a blessing to you. God bless you so much and have a great time, even as you think of how you can be able to get in touch with me. Of course, if you can be able to talk to me, you can be able to find my number. You can be able to get my contacts, and then you can be able to have my books. God bless you and have a great time. Thank you.